New Year to everybody. I'm busy working. I'm still in that creative writing zone. But there are a couple of things that I kind of wanted to talk about. I was going through some of my old journals and just thinking about some of the reflective thoughts that I've had through the years. And one of the things that I really do appreciate is that I get phone calls, text messages, and things like that, even on Facebook comments, that people really do appreciate and can relate to some of the chats we've been having. With that in mind, I ran across something that was really interesting that I read some years ago by Dr. Leo Buscaglia. And I read it in Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, Inspiration. The name of this chat is Introspection Part 2, because I know that I did something about introspection before. But I'd like to share an excerpt from memory from an essay that I read by Dr. Buscaglia, and it was really interesting. And it went something like this. One day, some animals in the forest decided that they wanted to have a school, so they formed a board of education. Guess who they had? They had a rabbit who could run, a squirrel who could tree climb, an eel who could swim, and a bird who could fly. So what they decided to do in the curriculum was to have swimming, flying, perpendicular tree climbing, and burrowing. Now, the rabbits did really good in running because that's what they could do. But they sort of fell when it came to perpendicular tree climbing because that's not who they are. The bird did well in flying, but guess what? He couldn't burrow because when he did burrow, he would break his beak. So that didn't work out for him very well. But the Board of Education was really happy because they figured they did something, because the animals did it in a halfway. But that wasn't the intent, but they were pleased anyway. So the essay ended there. But I'm assuming, for just the purpose of thinking about this, that the squirrel would not handle flying so well. He would really have a problem. And the eel definitely would suffer some serious health damages if he had to tree climb. So here's the thing. We're all wired to excel at those things that we are purposed here to bear. And it's been said many times before that it's a dangerous thing when you want to copy someone else, and you're not so good at that, but you can be a master at who you were created to be. Frederick Douglass once said something like this: I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring ridicule from others, rather than to look in the mirror and be false and incur abhorrence for myself. That is really something else. So why do we spend precious time harboring jealousy, envy, bitterness, or heaven forbid, hate for others? Come on, guys. Let everyone deposit in the earth the God-given gifts and talents He has bred into us before we were even born. I wrote a children's book last year for Christmas gifts, and it was titled, and it is titled, I Like You Just the Way You Are. And essentially, it was about Frenzy Frog and Snady Snail. And one of the things, I have it here, and I'm not so sure you'll be able to see the illustration, but one of the things that happened is that Frenzy Frog was sad, and his other friends asked him why was he sad, and this is what he said: I'm sad because my friend Snady Snail wants to hop with me, but she can't, so she won't play with me anymore. But guess what Snady Snail said? I'm tired of only slithering and crawling when I play with Frenzy Frog. I'm just so slow. I want to hop like Frenzy Frog does. But at the end of the day, you know what he said? I like you just the way you are, Frenzy Frog. Hopping is for me, but slithering and crawling are for you. And that's the purpose, that's the point of it. So remember this, life is a school, okay? When you register for your classes, make sure you choose your purposeful course of study. Examine the program requirements. Take all of your prerequisites. Attend class. Turn in your assignments and avoid distractions. And finally, pass your exams. Because you know why? Even though some courses may be more intense than others, they are needed before you can advance to a more rigorous study. And when you pass your exams and you pass your course, there's no need to repeat it. So know this, your purposeful life study has been designed just for you. It is an independent study, of course. And you know what else? You have the best professors that you possibly could have. So be blessed, be well, and above all, make yourself your own best friend. Believe in yourself. Do the things that you know you were designed to do. And that is why it's so important to be reflective and introspective and start to understand who you are and why are you here. God bless.